Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. I am here sharing the stage with Bryan from Ready to Love Season 3. I know you guys and girls had your opinions. You were very opinionated when we dropped the videos. So today we're going to have a sit down conversation. We're going to allow him to also give us his side of version of events. And maybe give us a little bit more depth into some of the scenes that happen, because I know some of you guys were complaining about certain scenes that Bryan may have been involved in. So we're going to give him the opportunity and a chance today to explain his side and what was happening on his end. So before I go any further, Bryan, do you want to introduce yourself? Let them know that you're here on Little Black Book today.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me on. Hello, everybody. I'm Bryan Carroll, aka Super Carol.
They're gonna get you so good with this. Before we go any further, I like to do a verification to make sure that you're actually human. So I've got a couple of questions just to make sure that you are who you say you are. All right.
Okay.
So question number 1. Okay. Cereal or milk? Which one goes in first?
Cereal.
Yeah, man. Cereal or milk? Which one goes in first?
Cereal.
Oh, you said. Oh, I thought you were asking the question. I was making sure. Okay. That's
Get the cinnamon toast crunch in there, because that's the only thing we, cinnamon toast crunch, and then put the milk in there.
All right, cool. You passed that first one. Second question is this: if I give you chicken, what kind of season are you going to put on that chicken?
I like what Rick Ross said. He says, "Lemon pepper my wings."
Lemon pepper your wing.
Lemon pepper my wing. You put some lemon pepper on there, and lemon pepper go hard.
You know what? You're scraping through on that one. You're scraping through on that one. And a final question. I've got a little riddle for you as well. It says, Friday, Jason and Jeff went to the store to buy some bread. The total of $12 was divided equally amongst the friends. Jason paid $4. Jeff paid $4 as well. Who paid the other $4?
Earl. I don't know.
I'll read it one more time. Friday, Jason and Jeff went to the store to buy some bread. The total of $12 was divided equally amongst the friends. Jason paid $4. Jeff paid $4 as well. Who paid the other $4?
I don't know, man. Maybe they got a COVID hookup. I didn't hear no other names. All I heard was Jason and Jeff. So if Jason and Jeff both split it, I mean, that's $4 that's missing. So I'm guessing maybe they got a discount or they had a coupon or something.
You know what? The audience got it, The answer is Friday.
Oh,
Friday, Jeff. You heard me say Friday first. I tried to emphasize Friday, Jason and Jeff. Friday, Jason.
I'm thinking Friday was the day that they went.
I know, but that's why it's the riddle. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's the riddle. But you're good. We know you're human now. Right. You know what I'm saying? So let's kick off the conversation today. Bryan, thank you again once more for joining us on the show today. I want to know, first of all, who is Bryan? Because we see the Bryan on Ready to Love, but I want to know from your words, your lips, who is Bryan?
Great question. Bryan is a father, he's a son, he's an educator, he's a lover. So he's a servant of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really here just to, to serve, to, do what I do on a daily basis, just loving I can say this. It's very refreshing to know that I know my purpose now. So basically I am here right now as a servant. I love what I do in the community, working with the kids, as an educator, working with my nonprofit. So that's really my lane right now. Teaching teachers and stuff like that. So that's basically a lot of the very important things that I'm working on right now.
And you mentioned about, obviously, because we spoke a little bit behind the scenes as well, you mentioned about your faith being very important to who you are. Can you tell us a little bit more about your faith?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a servant of Jesus, you know what I'm saying? I love God, like for real. So it's a daily process, it's a daily walk, really consecrating yourself, more of him and less of me. So just working from a humility standpoint, I'm a very confident person, very strong will. So it's really just submitting. And at the end of the day, that helps me to be a better teacher, a better father, soon to be a better husband one day. a better coach, a better mentor, a better son, you know, because I know I'll be getting on my mama nerves sometimes. I love you, mama.
Love you, mama. POP holding it down. So what made you, like, let's say, obviously you talk about faith, but what made you like give your life to Jesus? Because I think that's something we didn't get to see on Ready to Love, you know. Question to Christian, I got born again 2013. So when for you did you give your life to Jesus?
The first, really, when I was 17, I was a freshman in college, man. I just knew I was going to college on a football scholarship. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to go out here and wild out. I didn't know much about him from high school. I mean, we used to go to church sometimes, but I didn't really have a relationship. So I really got to know God, you know what I'm saying, when I went to college. Started getting in my word, reading, and learning that it was so much more about a relationship as a part of the, you know, the day-to-day things that people say you have to do. You know what I'm saying? But learning how really building a relationship to grow. And, you know, of course, you get grown, start thinking you know everything, you fall back. But, you know, recently, definitely past 9-10 months, has really got back on it, got a lot more serious and allowing that to really lead and guide me. And it's really been a blessing in my life.
Appreciate it, man. And I think obviously I know because obviously we were on the show, we was watching it, and you was having a discussion with David, Jay, I think Simone was on there as well, and Alex as well was on the table, and you guys were discussing about celibacy. And I think a lot of people don't understand about, even the word celibacy is not even the right word, actually the word is, you know, to abstain, but either way, you know, it's a journey, and it's not always so simple. You know what I mean? Like, I think people, as soon as you hear celibacy, everyone's thinking, well, make sure you stay on that lane and you ain't never going to come off. But there is times where it's not so clean cut. You know what I'm saying? How have you found the journey though?
It's definitely, it can definitely be a struggle. What you're doing is you're dying to your flesh every day. So, you know, the scene that they heard me say, I'm 40 days in, you know, it's been, initially when they asked me, when the producer asked me, I was like, I'm celibate-ish. You know, because I fell and, you know, I fell a few times, but, you know, we have to think about this. Like a lot of people may play it down, but at the end of the day, 1 in 4 in America, you know, catch an STD. No, 3 in 4 catch an STD at some point in their life. So that means responsibility sexually ain't that high. I mean, if you look at all of the children that's running around, you look at all the dysfunctional families, you think of all of the situations with rape. I mean, let's just think about all these things that come from irresponsible mental and sexual behaviors. You know what I'm saying? So for somebody to play down a 40-day thing like, you know, I ain't saying that's the biggest accomplishment in the world, but at the end of the day, I was willing to be transparent. We were at the table actually talking about faith. We were talking about discipline and relationships. They just happened to play that one little clip. And we were talking about the importance of that. And I just wanted to be transparent. Look, I'm going, you know, I'm about 40 days strong right now. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that was just one of my transparent moments where I wanted to be honest, especially when I was sitting next to Alex, the person I was talking to on the show. We was just, because all we did was talk countless hours about different things that we were working on or we were doing or stuff like that. So.
No, I appreciate it. And obviously, yeah, because that conversation, I remember when I did the review for that particular part, I ain't gonna lie to you, I said, this boy out here playing. Because he's out here telling 40 days, he damn well know he playing around.
But it's hard, to be honest with you. It's not usual that you hear somebody that's willing to be completely transparent about something like that might be frowned upon or even laughed at by most people. So of course, I mean, if you don't know me like that and you hear a piece of the conversation, it's easy to say, oh man, he playing. And then, you know, I might have said it with a smirk on my face, but I was serious. You feel me?
Talk to us about that. I mean, because obviously you are renowned on this show for being the jokester, right? Yeah. If you were a card, you'd be the joke card. You're the joker, right? But what makes you so, I guess, so energetic in the sense that where you do, it does look like, for us as an audience, it looks like you are always joking. Yeah. What gives you the kind of, I guess, perception, I guess that the mindset to be so bubbly, to be so lively? Is there something behind that? Is there a story behind that? I want to ask.
Absolutely, man. Shoot, man. I work in a profession where I'm certified in special education. So I have kids in my class that are considered emotionally disturbed or bipolar. I do programs with kids in the projects. I literally pick them up 3 to 4 times a week, and I tutor them, do online training. But their normal life is my daddy in jail for life. You know what I'm saying? That's normal to them. Domestic violence. That's normal for them. seeing people get shot. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, just 2 days ago, I seen on Facebook a guy that I used to work with at the hospital got killed while his daughter was in the house. A friend of mine just passed away 2 weeks ago. And I say that to say, man, you got to appreciate life. You got to love yourself. You can't be affected by the things you're seeing, all these clouds and smoke and mirrors. You got to love life. You got to love yourself. You got to appreciate the little things, your family, your friends, everything. So I want to make people smile. I want to smile. A lot of people's kind of being uptight. They wasn't being themselves on the camera. They was showing their representative. Me, Bryan Carroll was being Bryan Carroll. The thing I didn't like is that we may have a moment where it's all 10 guys clowning or everybody there. It's 7 or 8 people there, everybody laughing, and they only show the part where I laughed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a very jovial person, man. I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot. And I'm a smile, man. That's my testimony. I'm here. I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? I've been in car accidents. I've had asthma attacks. You know, my life could have been gone. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here. I'm happy, and I thank God. I'm going to make people smile. And I'm going to smile, and I'm going to tell a corny joke. It might not be funny. I might laugh, but, you know, it's the thought that counts, right?
How difficult is it to operate in your job, knowing that you are emotionally being drawn from each and every day? Because that's a very emotional job you're doing.
Absolutely. It's very emotionally draining. And I used to bring work home all the time. And that's why I had to develop a serious prayer life. And I even have to have my mind focused between my meditation and prayer before I get in the job, because you have to be able to intercept those thoughts. So you have to have good counterintuitive responses, right? You know what I'm saying? I like to be proactive as opposed to reactive. And it helps you to become a better mate, to be married, or a better parent, because you realize how much patience it involves. And I think about how I was a little booger growing up. So I know my mom had a lot of patience with me. How dare I ask God for patience, ask my patience, ask all these people for patience, then I get up here in front of these children that deserve this love and this patience and that are suffering from these traumatic and dysfunctional experiences. And that's how I learned that people listen through their lens of trauma. So I have to make sure I develop so much more patience in that, you know, so each day you got to be able to plug in mentally. You know what I'm saying? It's like the reticular activating system. The first 20 minutes of your day is the most important part of your day. So I make sure I give God my first fruit, thanking God, get my mind focused, getting ready for the day. And, you know, so I can get out in front of that stuff, because I'm be disappointed in myself if I'm up there going off on the kids or being impatient or not being patient like I need to be with my own child.
I hear that. And I appreciate it as well, because I think a lot of people don't realize that, you know, doing the job that you do, that like I said, it requires a mental strength that you need to be having a fortitude for each and every day, because it's a mental battle. You know, you're going in there and you're coming up against different thoughts and different mindsets of these young men and young women that you may be, you know, tutoring or whatever. And, you know, that can affect you as well. It doesn't just go one way, it can go the other way too. So
because you bear their weights. And that's how I realize how powerful love is. You know, and there's so many different facets, whether you're loving your spouse, your parent, your child, your students. It's a different type of love, but it requires a lot of energy, you know, so.
I appreciate it. So, Bryan, you mentioned a little bit about you growing up, and you were saying about, obviously, you was a little bit of a booger. Like, you know, like, tell us a little bit more. Describe a little bit more. What was your childhood like? Who was Bryan when he was a kid? You know what I'm saying?
I was that little kid I was pretty impulsive, but I just wanted to have fun, man. I wanted to go outside. I know my mama say, I don't know why my mama did this to me. Stay on the porch, don't leave the porch. What 7 or 8-year-old little boy not gonna leave the porch? As soon as I got an opportunity, I left the porch. You know, that was just me. I meant well, I was sweet, but you know, if you said don't touch it, something about me, I had to go touch it. You know what I'm saying? But I learned a lot of things the hard way. You know, I just I had an amazing mother. My mother's awesome. My dad's cool. You know what I'm saying? My stepdad came into our lives. Amazing person. Me and my sister had a great relationship. That's like my best friend, even though she be getting on my nerves sometimes. You know, I still know how to annoy her now, and I'm very skilled at that. But just growing up, man, had a fun life. I was blessed. We laughed, we played. My mother covered us and protected us through that love and through those sacrifices that she made. So yeah, that close knit in that circle was really good, and I'm blessed.
No one knows about praying moms are the bomb, bro. Like,
Absolutely, man.
honestly, man, I grew up and I used to love clubbing in it. That was my main thing. And I
Yeah.
never had one fight, no one altercation, none of this. I just think to myself, bro. And those times I wasn't saved, so these times I wasn't Christian, and I always say to myself, Mum was there backing up prayers
Well,
because
I
if
ain't
she
gonna,
hadn't,
look, I had a lot of fights when I was little. I thought I was a Ninja Turtle. I thought I was Bruce Lee. Listen, oh, y'all don't want to play with me? You know, what's up? Like, but I was just energetic, man. I love to play sports, man. I really excelled in the sports arena. I had bad asthma, but that wasn't going to stop me. Sometimes I would go to sleep and wake up at the hospital. But that didn't stop me. I never gave up. I felt fearless when I was a child. And that's one thing. And I lost that at some point. And I started to like care about what people thought or think about losing or something like that. And that's one thing I wanted to get myself back to. And I try to infuse that energy in the kids. Because when you're young, man, you're fearless. You think you can really fly. You think you can do anything. It's nothing too stupid to tell somebody like, oh, I'm going to be this when I grow up. And that's what I try to empower the kids through my books and stuff. Like, man, look, you can be anything you want. Don't let nobody rob you of that. And that's what I love about kids. They're pure, man. They haven't got dysfunctional and damaged by all the things of life yet. So we have to preserve that. You know what I'm saying?
who would you say that you're most like? Then you grew up like, do you grow up more like your mom, or do you see more traits of your dad?
I'm definitely like my mom. And you know what? And my mom, I know you're gonna see this. I got in trouble for is stuff that you do. Like man, I was greedy. I'm still greedy, right? My mom started putting measurements on the stuff. I'm like, hold up, no, but she greedy too. You know what I'm saying? Beating on the desk, fake freestyling, making noises, being goofy, laughing. I am my mother's son. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it. Yeah, I love that. Hey, shout out to mums if she's watching this, you know what I'm saying? I
I
got
know,
nothing to do with
right?
Brian, okay? So if you beat his ass, ain't nothing to do with me. All right. You mentioned also as well about you also writing a book. Just briefly, as you were just speaking, you mentioned about writing a book. Or you said I think you had a book or something. So
Yeah.
do you have a book that we could
Yeah, man.
man
Yeah.
like?
Yeah.
What is the book about?
So it's about sharing, man. I work, like I said, I'm certified in special education. So I see kids that are, man, we do these home visits in the projects. These kids live in some tough lives. They don't have the social skills and their literacy, the literacy aspect of that. 1 in 4 in Harris County are considered illiterate. It's so much higher at these poor communities. So you might go in a community where 70, 80% of the kids at the school are reading below grade level. So I wanted them to read. I wanted them to see some representation of somebody that looked just like them that they could reach out and touch, that's wrote a book, and I wanted to teach them practical lessons. So super sharing is teach the kids about sharing. Is it a little practical situation from when I was young about how I wasn't trying to share, but I didn't recycle my pain. They wouldn't share with me, then I got a toy. Then I had a chance to be like them, and I decided not to be like them. And we all live happy ever after, you know what I'm saying? So I have a bunch of them, man. So I'm bringing a couple more out, doing my virtual book tour. So if you want me to come read to y'all or do stuff, just holler at your boy.
I like that. What's the age range that is aimed at the book?
So the books are elementary, like daycare age, about three to about 10, because 10 is about 5th grade, unless you done got held back a few times. No joke. Some of y'all be kind of old. You can't be 14 in the 5th grade, buddy. But we still love you. I'll let me because I can get you on some credit recovery so you can get back in the right grade.
As well, you also spoke about your organ. Actually, someone just asked a good question. Actually, where can they find the book? That's a good.
Okay, so we have the book. It's on Amazon. Type in Super Sharon, but Amazon be taxing. They be making more money off my stuff than me. So you could message me, go to my Instagram, Super Carol, or go to my website, Bryan Carroll and Associates, and you can order a book that way. And I can mail it to you. And that way Amazon don't take all my money. Okay.
I hear that.
Black business.
That was cheeky. I love that.
Yeah.
And also as well, you run you're running also an organization. Tell us a little bit more about that as well.
Cure is a community under reconstruction through education. Education is the great equalizer, y'all. It's not just about reading, writing, and arithmetic. The truth is, most people ain't gonna become a scientist or a doctor or a lawyer. But guess what? You got kids that can start a messy page and expose everybody to school. They got some PR type skills. You know what I'm saying? They're skilled, so we have to hone those skills. I knew a kid that stole 12 cars. He got caught on 13. Instead of sending him to alternative school, We might need to send him to alternative for about a month. But you know what I'm saying? Let's mentor him and he can get a locksmith company because I don't know what to do if I get locked out of my car. There's so much we can do with these kids. So I go in there, we got the athletic program, we got the reading, you know, we got the social skills, teaching them about the emotions. Like it's the therapeutic approach because I'm in school to become a therapist. So y'all watch out because I'm gonna be the craziest therapist you ever met. You know what I'm saying? But that's basically what the cure is about, man. Just serving the community, loving on the kids, and uniting the kids and getting men to stand up. Because I think it's so important that us men take our rightful place as leaders.
Sorry about that, bro. My internet went a little bit googly. Continue. Sorry about that. Go in.
Yeah, you missed the best part of my freestyle.
I know, my bad, bro. Flow again, bro. Flow again. Sorry about that. You were talking about the kids obviously redirecting them and potentially not sending them to schools and stuff.
So and just helping them to realize that, you know, there's a way. There's always another chance. And you know, trying to hone in on this skill. Like I said, the kid stole 12 cars. But he could be an amazing locksmith. He could start a company. You know what I'm saying? So instead of demonizing him, let's take that skill he got and hone it and work it the right way. You know? So that's what I'm all about. And I like the misfits. I go speak at the youth jails and stuff like that. The problem is they get out and go right back to the same environment and end up right back in jail. So what we do is we create. I get mentors, and we got the men. In the community, we got to stand up and take our rightful place and save our young black boys and brown boys, even the white boys. Come on, boys, all the boys. You know, we say, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just getting that love, man, and just creating resources and activities and things for them to do to grow. That's really what it is.
I love that, and I think that is what you mentioned there is something that probably does need to happen more in all our communities, whether it's UK, US, whatever, because what you're talking about is the redirection. Yeah, the redirection is the person that's able to see that. I remember a guy came to me when I was working in banking. He was like, yo, bro, let me see if I can hold at you and help me out with some bank stuff, right? What he wanted me to do was some 419 fraud thing. And I said to him, bro, the fact that you have a mindset for fraud tells me that you're in the wrong place. You need to be a fraud analyst. Since you know all the fraud stuff, go and be a fraud analyst. You're out here doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of times people are misdirected because that's the only thing they know. They've come across something, they're using some skills in a certain area. This is why some of our drug dealers and them that they are businessmen. They just need to be redirected. You know what I mean? So what you spoke about is powerful, man. What inspires you to want to do that though?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. My parents got a divorce when I was about 5. And man, I always felt like I was the perfect son, man. I was like, you know, all these lies, these social things, these constructs they place us in as young black men. And I was like, man, I could fight. I was athletic. I was cool. I just thought I was like, why my daddy don't love me? You know what I'm saying? And that broke me. And I didn't know I was acting out. And it's not, he was just going through his different things that he was going through at the time. And he was young and making dumb decisions himself. You feel me? But I'm 5, I'm 6, I'm 7. And I'm just feeling those abandonment issues. And I didn't know that it was abandonment at the time. And I just didn't like the way it felt. I was the only black kid on the baseball team. We traveling. Like I'm good. I was like really good. And everybody's dad was there. My mom would be supportive. I always had to have a coach to help out because she was working by herself to raise me and my sister. And I was like, wow, man, like I don't like this feeling. And as I got older, I didn't realize that I was always in the mindset of being like, I'm an empath, I'm a feeler. So I was always in the mindset of trying to attend to the needs of kids. Like me and my roommate, we had custody of a 15-year-old in college. No lie, I'm in college playing football. We had a mentoring program. The kids stayed at our house all the time. We went to support him at court. The judge gave us custody. It's a little town. We at the big D1, we the players. She was like, oh, these guys will be good. No lie, we had custody of them. Always had a mindset to try to I didn't really know how to parent then, to love them the best I could, right? So I start answering myself the right questions. Tony Robbins always said, you ask yourself the right questions, you get the right answers. And I'm like, man, what is it? Like, why do I care about kids? A little bit before I forgave my dad. And I said it's because I didn't want nobody to feel how I felt. Like I legit didn't want that emptiness. So when I get opportunity to mentor somebody, to talk to them, you know what I'm saying? I was jumping at that. And this is from what I've been doing since I was 18, 19 years old. You feel me? So that's really what it is, man. Just that passion. Now I'm in education. I see the 5-year-olds that miss the bus because they don't know their name. I hear the stories about human trafficking. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the statistics with rape. I'm seeing all of these, the lack of education. I'm seeing how it's food deserts. I'm seeing how the educational system is only placing value in certain schools. And I'm seeing how everything goes. And I'm like, man, I gotta get solutions. And that's where Super Carol came from. You know what I'm saying? It's not me just saying I'm super, but it was really something. I gotta get these kids and know that they are dynamic and they matter. Place super in front of your name. You can do it. I can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. You feel me? So that's really my mentality, man. My heart hurts when I see the kids struggling, because when I see the dude that's homeless, so I hear about the kid that got killed a couple days ago, or the guy that got killed the day after my birthday last year. The last thing he said to me at his football game, when as a senior you lose, he knew he wasn't going on college, so he was like, man, what's there for me? Ain't nothing out here for me. He had a mental breakdown. He was ganged up, had his tattoo. He was a gang member. You know what I'm saying? So man, ain't nothing for me, man. Ain't nothing for me. We don't got to look forward to life. And I wish that I could have done more, but I didn't have the capacity when I was 25 at the time. I didn't really know exactly how to help him. So when he got shot in the head and killed on the day after my birthday last year, it really broke me. But I was like, man, you know what? I got more resources. I got to step my game up, because he literally told me he had nothing to look forward to and he ain't going to make it. And he died by getting shot in the head. So I'm like, what could I have done? You feel me? What could I have done? One time, don't judge me, y'all. One time I went to jail.
Oh, you went to jail? No, just
not for no real crime. It was for some tickets, right? I had some tickets. I went to jail. I had some tickets. I had to go in there for a day. And I seen one of the kids from the school I used to work at. And I was thinking about, I remember him. He used to steal phones out the book bags in the gym. He used to skip class and go do that. And I said, man, it starts early. So let me work at elementary school. I work at elementary school. I see the trend, how it goes on. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, what can I do about this? This is why I'm so passionate about the books, about the curriculum, about the speaking, about the motivation, about getting through those traumas, man. So I know that was a long answer, but that's just a small part of why I do it, man. Because it's personal to me. Because I could have been that kid. I had to go on the jail trips when I was little. Not because I was just doing spitballs and farting in class. I didn't think I was that bad. Scared straight true. I'm like, I ain't even bad like that. But it's personal to me because it could have been me.
As a teacher, I mean, I'm going to say this statement. You're only one person. So what difference could Bryan make?
Man, I'm like my mom on this fact. I don't give up. I don't care what it look like. I don't give up. You know what I'm saying? I might have a bad day, but I ain't going to have it 2 days in a row. I believe that if I can touch one person, then they can touch one person, and they can touch somebody, and they can touch somebody. And one thing I've learned, I ain't got to marginalize myself by being in the classroom. That's why I'm doing consulting now. Because if I can reach a principal who can reach all his teachers, who can reach all the students, if I can reach a superintendent who can reach all the principals, who can reach all the teachers, who can reach all the students. You know what I'm saying? So this is more than just a book. I know adults that don't know how to share. Only person that get one of my croissants at Cheddar's is my daughter. Anybody else asks, no, you didn't get none of my croissants. You know what I'm saying? So the reality of it is, man, there's so many different lessons and stuff we got to learn. And I want to do it. And I know that's my purpose, man. God told me I was going to change the face of education. I said, how? I had a 2.2 and I had a really low SAT score. I won't tell it because y'all going to make fun of me. And I'm trying to kick y'all in the forehead. You know what I'm saying? But I had a really low score. But when I activated my mind, my score went up almost 500 points. That's how you know my score was bad. It could go up 500 points, okay? But I learned my learning style. Now I know I'm smart. I didn't know I was smart at first. And how many young black boys is marginalized themselves thinking they could just be an athlete? You know what I'm saying? You got less than a 1% chance of going to the league. I was blessed enough to play a level of professional ball, but man, like we missing it. And we say Black Lives Matter. We say protect our men, protect our women, all this stuff. To me, the manifestation of it is infusing education into people. You know what I'm saying? In any way, shape, or form. That's what me saying Black Lives Matter mean. You know what I'm saying? That's what me saying, and also protecting our lives as well. But me going into the community, doing the dirty work. Who want to go on the projects with your boy? Because I go up in there. Where they be shooting at? Not why they shooting. I ain't stupid. I go in there with the church finger. You trying to go through the old church finger. Hey man, can I mentor? You know what I'm saying? Them kids be waiting for somebody to come love on them, man. I can't wait to see their faces tomorrow. We give them shoes. I can't wait to see that, man. That blessed my heart.
I hear that. That's real. And I think within our communities that this is aside everything else, this is what's needed in our communities. We need people that are gonna care. We need people that are gifted to do this, because this is a job that's for the gifted. This is not a run up in there because you think you're good. No, you need to be gifted, and that's a natural thing that God gives each individual person, because it comes to the heart. So if you don't have heart for the game, listen, you're just gonna cause more mess. So what you're doing is generationally changing people. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you reach 1 or 100 or thousands, as long as you change the world for somebody else, because that person can change someone else, as you said. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. That being said, we got to talk about some stuff. We've broken the chains, okay? And we're gonna have to talk about some of the relationship stuff, some of the ready to love stuff. So I want to ask a question. First off, hold up, what is streaker? You're gonna have to explain that. What is streaker, sir?
Streaker is stronger and weaker.
And what does that mean?
So basically, at that point, I felt like there were a lot of moving pieces behind the scenes that might not have been in my control or Alex's control that was affecting things. And also there were things that we were doing that were affecting things, meaning that we had this burst at the beginning, but it was kind of like this, and then it started slowing down. And I was in a place where I was like, okay, yeah, I'm talking to you. You're telling me one thing, but your actions are displaying something else. Man, and maybe she felt that same way. I don't know. So when he asked me, how's things going? I said, I believe adversity builds character. So the testament of your character is how you get through adversity. It's like, we only known each other a couple of days, so there ain't nothing super deep happening. So I'm thinking, well, maybe we talking about things. I'm going based off things she may have said to me. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're growing. You know what I'm saying? Because we're communicating, we're learning each other's communication styles. Maybe we're growing. But then I was also saying weaker because we haven't been spending much time. And granted, there were other moving pieces. Like, you ain't always in control of who you go on a date with or how your day goes on the show. So I was like, okay, from that standpoint, I feel like it's getting weaker. And I didn't want to say either one because I feel like that would have been incriminating to her or me. And I didn't want her to he said they should get weaker. So I said, man, you know what? It's getting streaker.
Do you see how that can be construed as not a direct answer?
Oh, no, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of times, see, what y'all got to realize, man, when Tommy's Tavern, there is a microphone in his ear with the seeing eye, the behind the scenes people that see everything, asking specific questions. They ask questions that aren't even going to incriminate. They're either going to incriminate you or the other person, or they're kind of get an emotional response for a point that they're trying to make. They do this for a living. They are pros, okay? It's a psychological type thing. So when you answer those questions, a yes or no can be misleading. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to do is lay foundation. Everybody else is doing the same thing. They might not have did it like I did it. You know what I'm saying? But they was doing the same thing. So that's why it was coming off like that, because I'm not just going to have somebody ask me a question and I just say it and it's something this is kind of misleading to a number of the things. Plus a lot of people, all the guys were not in Tommy's Tavern being honest. People were saying we're not being honest. So with me being honest about certain things, it was kind of asking me a lot of questions. I see I don't mind talking too. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask a further question on that. So there was a scene, I think the last episode, where you guys are freestyling, and the guys made a joke.
Yeah.
All of them did. Kalfani, Rashid, everything. In fact, Rashid started it, and he was saying that you don't answer questions directly.
Yeah.
And the audience also picked up on this earlier on in the season, that they felt like Bryan doesn't directly answer questions. In fact, if I look at my chat, this is what they're even saying now. Bryan doesn't directly answer questions. Can you talk to that? Because is there I know you talk about obviously moving pieces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it looked like to us as an audience, that you were dodging certain questions. When they came up strong, it looked like you were dodging. Can you talk to that for us?
Well, yeah. Well, you got to understand how editing works. The question that they asked might not have been the response that they showed me asking. And sometimes you feel uncomfortable with certain questions. Certain questions, like I said, they may be incriminating to you or the other person. Sometimes stuff might not be none of their business. You might not feel comfortable with directly saying that or speaking about that on camera. Because I'm a firm believer in this. You keep in-house business in-house. And there's certain things I'm willing to talk to people about off camera, some things I'm willing to talk about on camera. And some of those questions were uncomfortable. And then sometimes they would just say things that would make that they could use to make you sound like you're talking bad about somebody. And as y'all can see, I had an issue with kind of saying things or letting somebody down or, hurting somebody's feelings, with the situation with Alicia, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying she'd have been heartbroken or nothing, but I didn't necessarily handle that right because I could have been more blunt, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, man, that all-seeing eye, they asking, see, they might show you that one part, but they might have asked that same question 3 or 4 different ways because they try to get it one way and my response was different. So they try to get it another way. And I think emotional intelligence is important because a lot of times y'all see them things when people by themselves in the confessionals. Sometimes they just being messy and saying disrespectful or mean things. But a lot of times they were getting coerced based on the questions. And if you want emotional intelligence to kind of jump out ahead of it and understand how they was asking you or just say, I'm not answering that, then you would get caught up. So now you got a lot of people from the show like looking at each other like they looking at each other sideways, or people in an apologetic mode like, oh, I didn't mean that, because one of the producers might have lied and said something about somebody and got an emotional response out of you. So I'm just trying to lay that foundation. There were certain questions I really didn't feel comfortable asking because certain things would have been disrespectful in the manner they wanted me to ask them or the responses they were expecting, because they want clickbait. They want drama. I want authenticity. I'm trying to really get to know somebody, or I'm not trying to, if I know you for 4 or 5 days, certain things I'm not about to tell them. It ain't none of their business. You feel me? So, yeah. So certain questions I just wasn't trying to answer.
So would you say that, so obviously I think what I'm hearing, concluding what you were saying, is that there is some intrusion in the way that certain questions are being pushed towards you guys, let's say mainly you, for your particular scenes that you're doing. Let's say for you specifically, I won't talk about anybody else. There's certain things that are getting pushed towards you in terms of having a conversation with someone. Let's say you're having a conversation with Alicia, and they may be potentially pushing something into your face to say it a certain type of way. Is that what you're trying to say? Because I want to make it very clear.
Oh, so absolutely. I could be talking to Alicia, and she's pouring out her heart, giving me a testimony, and she has an amazing testimony. You know what I'm saying? But somebody's in the background trying to get me to say something that I don't want to say. And I don't feel it's appropriate to say to somebody. Because one thing I won't do, which you'll see a lot of people doing on the show, is stepping on other people to try to get a leg up, to make themselves look good or to impress somebody. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't willing to do that. I wasn't. So I wasn't always seen in the light, I don't think. So because there were certain things I wasn't willing to be a conduit of mess, because that ain't me. Because there's certain things I talked about with people not on the camera that's not going to ever leave my mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because there was something you told to me in confidence. Or that's something, or if you're expressing yourself, even if it's on camera, and you tell me, I just don't think it was the time. Certain things are distasteful. So there were certain situations where you see me talking where I was very uncomfortable because I felt like we had that conversation off camera already. Then we're being forced to have it on camera. And I know it's all bull crap. And I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not about to be the angry black man that throws his mic off and walks off. You just don't win. You don't win. You know what I'm saying? So, you sit there and wisdom will tell you, I'll address it at a later time. And the truth always reveals itself, right? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to give an emotional response, meaning a negative emotional response where I'm being reactionary and I'm not in control of my emotions because I was inappropriate based off being triggered by something. You feel me?
Was there a particular scene that happened in the show where it really riled you up? Like, and maybe you didn't show it, but maybe it riled up because of the way that it was being engineered.
Well, after watching the episodes, yeah, during the time I was a little annoyed. But the little scene when me and Alex were sitting on the bench outside, and I'm like, we already talked about this. We've known each other for like 3-4 days, well, maybe 4 or 5 days at the point. I'm extroverted, you're introverted. I'm very like I said, I talk for a living. I listen for a living. I develop solutions for a living. I'm solution oriented. I'm very passionate, and I'm ADD at the same time. You're more chill. You got to process things. You got to think about it. So, if we don't understand each other's learning styles, how we process things, each other's traumas, how we respond to stuff, it can easily, because there's some things I took from her and I was like, what the difference between me and her, or me and a lot of people on the show. If I have an issue with you, or I feel a certain type of way, I'm not about to go in Tommy's Tavern to talk about my issue with you specifically, because that doesn't solve my issue with you. First, I'm going to talk to you about our issue. And I'm not about to go talk to the other guys unless somebody I trust in confidence that I know, hey, that's gonna give me some sound advice. But it wasn't no situation where I felt like I necessarily needed any specific advice or something like that. So that's the way we sitting there. We had already talked about that. We'd already handled that situation. So it was kind of like being rehashed and put on to orchestrate something for the cameras. I'm like, yo, that ain't even happen like that. Then they'll take parts where we were laughing at the end of the conversation and place it on the other parts. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm saying, can I speak? I'm low-key on eggshells. Like, I wasn't playing. It's like, can I talk now? You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, you play too much. First, I was funny and I make you laugh. Now I'm playing too much. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe I was really confused. But then you take those parts when somebody be open and honest and you exploit it. You know what I'm saying? Whoever that may be. You feel me? So, and understand, you got to understand, everybody communicate different. You can't throw nobody in the say, you got to communicate how I want you to communicate and do this. You know what I'm saying? So the other scene on the couch too, though.
Yeah. So okay. So
yeah,
I agree with you. I think there is obviously edits and cuts. But obviously Alex went into a confessional and said she feels like you don't listen. So whether that was that scene or another scene.
Well, that was from a totally different day.
Yeah. It's probably not even the same. It's probably the same day. Irrespective of the day. Yeah. Why do you feel like she mentioned that you weren't listening? Because that, even if that's not the same day, why do you feel like she had a feeling that you weren't listening?
Well, I think it's because of this. So the situation, we were talking about something, this was off camera. And my thing is this, like I said, I'm ADD and I'm passionate. So you're explaining something to me and I felt like we were talking, she was explaining something, I felt like we were talking in circles. We were both doing a lot of talking, not a lot of listening. Because just like she didn't feel heard, I didn't feel heard, because obviously we were talking in circles, so nothing was getting accomplished. So I said, hey, let's compartmentalize this one thing. Let's finish the thing that we're talking about, then jump back to that. She took that as, he's not listening to me. I found that out because I talked to her and she told me why. I said, I don't remember verbatim what I said, but I know I made these points. I said, look, I'm passionate. I said, I'm very passionate, so I can get wrapped up in that. And I said, also, I got ADD. And because I can't take notes on what you're saying and try to go back to address it, I wanted to cut you off and be like, hey, can we come back to that? You know what I'm saying? So after we addressed that, but that was after she had already kind of like spread the world, spread the good news that Bryan don't listen. So then by the time we get a conversation about it, it's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but I don't think she really processed it that way. So maybe she still felt like I didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I'm the best listener in the world, but I'm open to constructive criticism. I'm not open to you stigmatizing and labeling me amongst the whole community of people on the show. You know what I'm saying? So then we're having conversations about it on camera, which we already had. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm feeling blindsided because I'm like, yo, we already talked about this. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that situation went. The situation on the couch, especially I want to address this thing when she said about the domestic violence. That was the first time we spoke about that. But afterwards, I was like, even if I was a butthole, let's say I'm a butthole, right? I'm not dumb enough to be a butthole on camera and just say paralysis by analysis. That was from a totally different part of the conversation.
I did think so. Yeah, it looked like it was.
Yeah, that was literally placed there. When she said that, I was like, for real? Like, for real? That's a sensitive subject to me. Because that hits home with things of people I know closely or family members. You know what I'm saying? So that hits home. But we went upstairs and talked about that. You know what I'm saying? So they make it like that. So I just think there was just so many gaps in how we communicate and how we process. I look at it as, the testament of your character and your ability of being ready to love, to date, to understand, to grow with a person, how you deal with adversity. We had one little simple misunderstanding and spiraled out of control, or so. I think they made stuff worse on the editing in the show than it was in real life. She might have said, Bryan, you're a little annoying. I might say, Alex, you're a little annoying. But it was no hard beef. You know what I'm saying? The show makes it seem like it was just, they created more than, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that she didn't have legitimate feelings. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, but they kind of let that spiral and made it so much worse, so.
Do you think, because obviously, very much yourself, part of my job here, I do one-to-one coaching with people. My job is to listen. There is a difference, though, when you get into a relationship. And the reason why is because the pressure is different. When you are, like, for instance, we're doing right now, I can do this all day, right?
Yeah.
And someone will think I'm an amazing listener. But when we're actually in a relationship, due to different circumstances that happen within a relationship, pressures that happen, we could be not seeing eye to eye on something, etc. I want to get my point across. You want to get your point across. You know, the listening skill or the art of the listening isn't always necessarily the same in a relationship as it is as your job. Because I believe you, by what you told me, your job, I know that you're an amazing listener. When it comes to a relationship, though, is there a part of you that maybe because you said obviously said about your ADD as well, that may impact the level of listening that you may have in a relationship?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I don't think I'm the art of listening. I can't say I've mastered the art of listening. But the thing about it is, if you're going to tell me you're ready to love and you're ready to be in a serious relationship, then communicate that to me. Don't let me find out by everybody else how you feel. You feel me? You know, because I believe that's when you're ready to be in a serious relationship, you know how to you care about that person's emotions. You want to protect them emotionally as well as physically. So what type of stamp do you put in when you go talk to everybody else about a situation instead of that person? So I am completely open. And like I said, I tell her, like, you know, it's possible. I make mistakes. I can definitely drop the ball. But one thing about me, I'm not no arrogant, stubborn person that you can't talk to. Tell me, you know, I make up words. If I don't know the word, I might make a word up. You feel me? I don't mind saying I made a mistake. I don't mind saying 40 days. Ain't nobody else gonna say that. Ain't nobody else really being transparent. Negroes is on there lying, not being real. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Like, you know, and it's so possible. But we also have to understand this. One thing I started studying love languages and personalities. Oh, yeah. So your personality is how you process stuff. My job requires me to have a high processing speed. From being a football player, I played quarterback at one time. I had to react, process quick. Baseball, tenths, hundredths of a second, process quick. Behavior specialist, you have to process quick. So I'm not saying I got all the answers. What I'm saying is I've been to therapy. I do therapy on people. And I felt like without misunderstandings, I processed some of those things a little quicker and tried to establish and understand the issue. And I didn't think it was as big. So I said, we can talk about this. Me and you can talk. And I didn't know, but I also think that things kind of spiraled out because of the outside factors. That was a lot. Listen, y'all, this is, for one, it's TV, okay? But there are so many moving pieces that y'all have no idea about, from people being lied to, from producers saying this thing, that you get off the show and you find out, oh man, that didn't even happen. I know it ain't happened. You know what I'm saying? But it was so many moving pieces. But absolutely, it's so possible that I dropped the ball. Mind you, we only knew each other about 4 or 5 days, 6 days at these points. And then also there were other moving pieces as far as, so imagine only knowing somebody a couple days. Then it's not like you get the opportunity to just talk to them and get it settled. Because you got a busy day where you're going on other dates with other people, you're doing all this stuff. So now it's kind of lingering. Then your emotions are in array, because now you're going on a date with another person. Oh, do I like this person too? You can't serve two masters, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you're dating multiple people. You got other people in your ears and you haven't got to communicate. And communication kills assumption. So therein lies the issue right there. You know what I'm saying? Because I might feel the same way. I might feel like she don't listen. The difference is I just tell everybody. Or I didn't tell one person and allow it to get spiraled out of control, because I know that that's not a solution. You know, me telling other people my issue with you is never a solution. Me telling you the issue with you and us working that out is the solution.
Do you think, okay, so what I'm hearing is then, do you think that there's a crossing lines here? So what I'm hearing is Alex is processing the emotions of the situation. You are processing solution for the situation. And in that case, that's where someone may feel like the person doesn't. So this is not saying that you were wrong. This is saying how two people can operate. So what I'm hearing from you is, when you're hearing what you're hearing, your mind is going straight to, what's the solution? This is something that happens when we talk about personalities. In fact, if we do the color test, oftentimes people who are in the red zone, who are in that red zone, usually process solutions. Yeah, because that's how they think. They are looking at, okay, there's a problem. Okay, I get it. I hear what you're saying. Let's not dwell on it long. Let's get a solution. Because what else can we do? Like we can't talk about feelings all day, right? And that's actually not necessarily it's not a bad thing. It's just the way that you process things. And it sounds like where she's processing things is that she's processing the emotion, and maybe where she came with the not a great listener necessarily isn't because you weren't a great listener, but maybe because at that time what she needed from you was to process the emotion. this is something I've said to people, that sometimes we have to sit in the situation. So maybe what she felt was that you weren't sitting with her in the situation, but presenting a solution, which made it feel like to her that you weren't listening. Not that necessarily you weren't listening. If you get what I'm saying.
And you know what? And that's 100% possible, man. That's a great synopsis. And it's totally possible that could have happened. Mind you, we hadn't known each other that long. We didn't really know. Like I said on the couch, we don't know each other like that. We're getting to know each other. That was after the conversation. So I recognize that. I feel you, man. And that's why I said, with all the moving pieces, being able to sit down and learn it. And how you gonna know that about somebody in 45 days? You know, that's something you have to learn or have to express. So you have to experience it. You don't know people till you go through seasons with them. We got to go through seasons for her to know what my triggers are or what her triggers are. It's an accelerated process. It's very emotional draining. At about day 3, I know me and Edwin had like a conversation. I was like, bro, I'm over this, bro. Going on, seeing 4 or 5 people a day, sitting down talking. Like we got I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying? It was emotionally draining. So I get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, personality traits, triggers, all that stuff is so important. Really understanding. So I get it.
Why do you think she also, this is my last question on the Alex thing, I think. Why do you think that she saw that you were the jokey type rather than seeing, because if I see the comments right now, if we look about the comments, bro, they are like, bro, I never saw this side of Bryan. Bryan, this is a different Bryan. Why?
Y'all gotta realize, look, listen, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Look at my website. Look at my page. What I've been doing for the past 12, 15 years. Don't go based on a show that's TV that they specifically, like. I feel like they asked Simone about was she gonna be the villain. I think they made me the villain. You know, I'm not saying that everything was live. Like you can't. I was goofy. I was playing, but whenever I was in a room in Tommy's Tavern playing or at the pool playing, everybody was playing. We was all playing. There was never no issue. Adriana talking about Bryan played too much. Adriana ain't never going on no dates with me. Joy talking about I'm tired of hearing Bryan talk. Me and after day 2, me and Joy never even hung out. So are you tired of me talking?
Where do you think they got their ideas from then?
Man, it's a lot of moving places, man. Listen, you got people who ain't had no chicks that really liked them that start getting a lot of dates.
Jeez.
Yeah, I ain't gonna name drop, but I'm just spitting a few facts. You know what I'm saying? You got people who ain't nobody. You got people who lasted that ain't nobody really. You know what I'm saying? They choose what they want to say. Like they played the Thick Thighs Save Lives. I thought that was really funny. That was about the 3rd time I said that to Winter. We kind of joked around about that. I said a bunch of things.
Was she impressed by that when you said that on the boat?
When you said on the boat?
When you said the thick thighs save lives, like I think it's funny. Listen, don't get twisted. It's funny. Yeah. But when you said it on the boat, how does she take it? Because from what we're seeing, the cut is showing us that she wasn't impressed.
Yeah. Well, some people were acting for TV.
Okay. Oh, are you trying to say that she was? I mean, let me unpack what you're saying. Do you feel like the edit showed that she wasn't impressed when she impressed is the wrong word? Do you feel like she was running with the joke?
Let me backtrack.
That wasn't cut. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. It's not necessarily saying that. I don't know what that is, so I ain't even seen that episode yet. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't even watched that one yet, but I do know it was something about being superficial. Yeah. You know, like I said, this why we get in so much trouble with racism and propaganda. I'm gonna correlate this. I'm gonna bring this home. Yeah. Think about it like this: you got black people getting labeled for a whole bunch of different stuff that we don't necessarily always see, but they label it. But you see it one time because it's been put into your brain and your subconscious mind. So that's been put in their mind that Bryan is superficial, Bryan's a playboy, Bryan is this, that. When Winter says she like Anthony, why she says she like Anthony?
Oh, see, we know why. It's because he's got the arms and the chest.
Exactly. Did she say anything about his mind?
We didn't hear anything about his mind. I'm going to be honest.
Let me say, we hear people on the show talking about they got a connection with people, right? Do we see any depth in any conversation, hardly? I mean, it's a couple people, but talking to me right now, you think you're going to spend 10 minutes in my presence. You know what you're going to hear about? What I'm passionate about. I love the community. I love kids. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're going to hear about that stuff because it exudes through me. It's a part of me. You feel me? So they show a couple scenes. I think people look at me and say, you must be the lady, man. What evidence? You saw me leave. So the show made it like I went from one room to the other, which I didn't do. There was a big gap in between that. But even if I did, let's say this. There was one girl I was kicking it with on the show, right? I had to assure her that we was good before I went to sleep because she knew I went on a date with somebody else. What other person did that? I was actually being intentional on the show. You ain't see me up in nobody else's face.
So are you saying, okay, so then if you weren't in anybody else's face, was Winter to stay on the show then? Because I'm going by what you're saying. So I'm not saying...
Listen, I'm going to say this.
It's a game, innit? So I understand that.
A lot of people was playing the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't play the game well. I started talking to one person and I wasn't really up in nobody else's face or nothing like that. People was playing the game. Absolutely. They know they was playing the game. they was making the All-Star team. People playing the All-Star team, you know.
So the thick thighs, just to nail it now.
I met it. She do got some thick thighs. Winter fine. Shout out to Winter. Winter knows she fine.
Winter orange. That's what we call her.
Winter orange, yeah. Winter is coming. Y'all heard me say that. You know what I'm saying? Winter knows she fine. She thick thighs do save lives. You know what I'm saying?
But did she? Because obviously that's what I was asking. So when did she? Because that's what we saw that and we was like, wait, hold on, like, well, like not even that way. Because I don't think it came out of nowhere. I'm talking about the date because we know that people are dating.
Yeah, because we was on that boat for like 2 hours talking about a lot.
Okay.
Talking about a lot of stuff. So they try to play one little part. I can't honestly give an answer for exactly how she felt when I said it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. I don't know exactly how she felt when I said it. I know I never got any energy to make me tone back from my conversation, whether I was talking about Dick Dive Save Lives or us breakdancing or twerking or whatever the case we was talking about on the boat. I never got any energy to make me say, Bryan, that was stupid. Or Bryan, chill out. This is aggressive or this was inappropriate. I never got any of that energy. I never got that energy. So I'll say that. But I can't say exactly how she felt. But what I can say is people said a lot of things that obviously they didn't mean on the show because their actions after the show or their actions when they talk to you are not indicative of those things. You feel me? So, you know.
What would you say for the Alicia situation? So that was a big thing for you and the audience members. It was a big moment. You went in, you were having a nice conversation. I mean, we all, from our perspective, Alicia, I hope I get to have you in the show. We saw Alicia chasing. And it's one of the things I always say to women, you know, let a man, not that you can't assert, you know, and present yourself, but let a man have that room to be able to make the decision. And I felt like she wasn't giving you that room to make the decision. And it felt like it was all a bit paced, right? Then we get to see you guys in, you know, outside the room, you're chatting, Next we know we're inside the room, Netflix and chill is trying to be proposed here. You know, you give her a little...
Who's going to read the Bible?
Are you going to read the Bible? I'm sure you were. That's how it happens, man. Bible flicks and chill, and you end up at Songs of Solomon. But for you... why did you leave? Why did you not want to come back to that room? Tell us a bit more about that scene, because we're seeing something, but we want to know what happened.
All right, so, you know, me and Alicia had a nice date, had some good conversation. Walk her to the door. It was very uncomfortable. The camera basically put it back in the head, like, you know. So I go in there, got some snacks. You know what I'm saying? Snacks was hidden.
I'm sure that's all over, innit?
You know, I didn't really feel comfortable with coming back.
Okay.
Mainly because it's like, you know, Alex had saw me leave with that. Now, how that's going to look? You know, we didn't have a date. We didn't kiss. We didn't spend a lot of time on feeling you. What type of space is that going to put you in emotionally if I go back to somebody else's room? So when I left, they called me into confessional immediately, trying to get me to say certain things or their narrative they wanted to push. So I leave out of there and they like, you know, you should go say goodnight. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I wanted to make sure I leave my staple, but with Alex, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to be intentional, but that's really how that was. I did feel a little uncomfortable about the whole situation. It's because, like, you know, you got a camera right there while you're standing there. But, you know, I didn't want to go back because I didn't want to, I thought that would have been very distasteful and that wouldn't have looked right based on the progress and where me and Alex were at the time. I still got made to look bad because they edited and made it like I went from room to room.
Did you not go from room to room? Did you not go from literally leave Alicia's room and went straight to Alex's room? I mean, I would have said fair play. It
is. Well, people forget that it's a dating show where you date multiple people, but when you date multiple people, they act like you tripping. Guys, it's a dating show. But when I left out of Alicia's room, I was supposed to come back in 20 minutes, right? They called me into a confession. I was gone for like 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Then it was recommended that I go to Alex's room. So to say goodnight. So I did that.
Oh wait. It was wait. So it wasn't your idea to go to Alex's room. Oh, so it wasn't your idea.
And how y'all think Shay was right there? What's
Oh
the
wait, I knew that was false. That was false.
what's
That
the
was always
odds
false.
that I leave, come back 45 minutes to an hour later, and Shay happened to be in the hallway, and her Alicia happened to walk down the hallway to see? Come on, y'all. This is like Martin said, this is TV, man. Like, no, man, that ain't how it went down.
Mm. So basically what you just said. I want to just make sure we got that right. When you went to Alex's room after Alicia's room, that was producer induced. That was not necessarily. That was not your idea to do.
A lot of that emotionally riled up stuff y'all seen on the set. I mean, well, not on the set, on the show was it was a producer induced. A lot of it. You still got a decision to do what they tell you to do, though, or suggest what they suggest. You don't have to do it, but I mean, going to the room to say goodnight to somebody ain't bad. I didn't think I was starting up any mess. No, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, I hear that. I hear that.
And if you watch when I left out of Alicia's room, the direction I went, it wasn't the same. It wasn't a walk to that same direction. It wasn't a smooth walk. The camera showed me going the other way when I went to Alex's room. Shoot.
Do you? Because obviously you're emotionally intelligent. Do you take any responsibility then for the Alex situation when you went into the room? Because by your own admission, you are aware that these guys are trying to set things up. Do you feel that there's any responsibility on your part, or accountability, I should say, for that action taking place?
Yeah, I definitely take responsibility. In fact, I really should have just been like, Alicia, I'm not gonna come back. That would have been the best way to handle it. That would have nipped that all in the bud. I didn't know that there was any drama and editing would be crazy back then. You have no idea. Like, I don't even really watch reality TV. I don't even watch TV that much. I don't watch reality TV. I don't know how this stuff go. But now I understand when you do these interviews and people always say, that's not how it really went down. Yes, y'all. I understand. I understand that fully now. But no, I could have just told her. I could have just been straight up. And she deserved that. Alicia deserved that. So I've already apologized to Alicia about that, but we cool. That's my buddy, so we good, but I definitely could have handled it a lot better. But I had no idea that things would be twist and turn. I didn't know about the moving pieces. I thought you just go out and you just be yourself and, have a good time.
Last question. I want to know for you. You said, I think you mentioned, you were talking on the show and you mentioned about you not being in love yet. And I wanted to find out, why has Bryan not been in love? Tell us why you have not been in love, sir.
Okay. So I really said I had been in love, but I was
okay.
So think about it. My gauge of love, let me read you what my gauge of love is. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. That's what I consider love. So now when I was in college, man, there was a woman, amazing woman, even after college a little bit. I felt like I loved her. And from an emotional standpoint, from an immature point, I did. But when I think about how I handle situations, my lack of maturity, the fact that I didn't understand my identity and who I was back then, I didn't even know my purpose. I wasn't mature enough to really, as a man, I wasn't what I needed to be. I understand that I didn't have the capacity at the time to really love her. So I consider that more, so I'd say I was in love then, and I look at it from a mature perspective, like, So I said that, but it was quickly dismissed. Oh, that was just puppy love, which I didn't think was the most respectful and nice thing to do, but I could just let that slide. So that's when I said the love. So in my more mature state, becoming a father, I understand what love is. I understand what love is. Straight servanthood. There's nothing she can do to get outside of my gauge of love. I absolutely love serving her, whether it's feeding her, giving her a bath, being patient with her, being kind. I'm checking myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly having to check my emotions. So I'm not having a super disrespectful approach to her, and I'm being gentle and kind, and you know what I'm saying, and nurturing to her. And I understand what love is now. So most people from the show that has been married, that say they've been in love, they don't really know what love is. Most people looking for love but don't know what they're trying to find. They don't have a real gauge. So when I say from that point, I said I had been in love, but it was dismissed. But when we talk about real love, most people can't say they've been in love. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at the standpoint of what love really is, that's what I'm talking about. You know, I ain't just some dude out here. Like I said, I read for real. If I'm in the car, I'm listening to a sermon, a podcast, I'm feeding my brain. You feel me? So I've been learning. I ain't got all the answers, but I've been learning so much about what love is. You know, so I don't even think somebody who ain't qualified to process or forgive a situation is qualified to talk to somebody about love.
Wait, who was that to you?
Shots fired.
And that's cool. I was like, wait, hold on a minute. He just fired some shots. I'm like,
most people. I mean, you think about the experiences with people. You got people that can't even get over somebody offending them, but that's married, and you want kids jacked up. You wonder why your relationships is jacked up. So don't talk. People don't. It's like, don't even talk to me about no love, and you can't do the basics. You know what I'm saying? There's no condition to love, and if you're ready for love, you'll start handling people according to these attributes. I'm not saying you're gonna be perfect at it, but you're gonna work at it. You know. So I look at love totally different. I'm talking about that real love, that godly love, that 1 Corinthians 13 love. Not that you make me feel all warm and squirmly inside, some emotional, shit. Nah, I'm talking about some real love, some long lasting, that's really going to transform somebody's life, so sorry for my rant, man.
No, it's not rant. I just need you to I'm going to need you just to concise it. So why hasn't Bryan, in a short summary, not found this love that you're talking about?
At one point I wasn't mature enough to give it. I didn't have the capacity. So I knew how to like somebody. And I like you, I'm feeling you, but I was too selfish in my own ways. I didn't have the capacity. Becoming a father helped get me a lot more capacity, and it's been a process. But now I know I'm ready, because I'm ready, operating 100% humility. It ain't 50-50, it's 100-100. And what makes it love is that we bring 100 and 100 together, we slap that together, and we're submitting to God, the ultimate rule, in complete humility to esteem your desires and your needs over mine. So we're constantly in a position of serving, you know what I'm saying? And that's going back and forth. So that's why I'm ready now, because I understand that concept. Not fully, but I'm growing at it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm willing to make that decision on a daily basis to love on somebody. I'm willing to make that decision. We ain't about to get in an argument over whether the fan gonna be on. That's probably a big argument with married couples sleeping. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually one of the biggest arguments.
You like the A on 66, I like it on 74. You know what I'm saying? The dishes ain't done. I do them all the time. I'm gonna wait till she done. No, I'm gonna keep serving. You know what I'm saying? So I've grown in my maturity. And whenever I fall back on it, the Holy Spirit gonna check me. You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't gotta go to my friends or my cousin or somebody like that. No, Holy Spirit gonna check me. And I got accountability partners, people that have been in married, that are married in successful marriages, that I talk to, that I'm very transparent about things with. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm ready for love, because I'm doing the work on a daily basis. And I ain't perfect, but I'm growing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm ready. And it's talking to people that think they got an idea, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah.
What's just the end now? So to conclude, what would you want the audience to know that they don't know about Bryan?
That shit, man. Look. Man, that show was some bull crap, man. Nah, man, I had fun, man. I had a great time, met some cool people. Man, if you want to know who I am, holler at me. Call me. 555. No, I'm just playing. But no, man, I'm really just a down-to-earth person, man. I'm a servant, man. I'm out here trying to make it happen, like, for real. Like, my life's work, it doesn't even align with the stuff from the show. Like, with the way they're portraying me. And I'm not saying that those aren't parts of me. I'm very jovial and I love to play. But listen, man, I am about my business. I'm about the kingdom business. I'm about doing this community work. I want you to know that, I'm just a real person that was out here being transparent, having a good time and learning, man. I'm open, ready for love. I'm ready for the next season of my life. And I'm excited to connect with anybody that's about their life too. So, shoot, hit me up. Follow me on Instagram, Supercarry. They told me I need to start telling people my page. Follow. You will be entertained. Might learn something too.
No, I appreciate that, Bryan. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. I really did appreciate the fact that you took this appointment here. It's been actually really good and encouraging chat. Like I said, I think someone's asked, "What's your number again?" They want to know about you, bro. But yeah, I mean, I really do appreciate the fact you've come on here and shared your truth. And we've had a good conversation, some jokes in there, some real conversations, deep conversations, and you shared a part of your life as well. So I always appreciate that, bro. And so thank you so much
One more thing.
for coming on here. Go for it, bro.
I want them to know these are all parts of my personality. Don't marginalize. And this is a part of, we say we want people to open up and be themselves. Listen, I'm serious. I can talk to you about rocks, the Bible, the space, politics. Talk about, who got the stinkiest farts. Like, no, we can do it all. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a dynamic part of my personality. I'm all of it. You're going to laugh. We're going to be serious. We can be romantic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you saying the DMs are open? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Oh, man. No.
And the DMs open for Bible study?
Yeah, look, I'm celibate, y'all. So don't be trying to tempt me. Okay?
He said the DMs are open for Bible study, guys. It will be leading.
Yeah. Hey, look, get on my YouTube, though. We doing start my new series on toxic masculinity. Carol TV, my YouTube channel. I'm about to get it together, but we're going to do a series on toxic masculinity.
Lovely.
How to address these issues. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen, shout out me, bro. I'm always down to help. Get me.
Already, man. We're gonna work togetger, bro. We're gonna make some things happen.
No, the spirit, we're working. Guys, I want to appreciate you, the audience members. You guys have turned up in your droves. I want you guys to do me a favor though. Make sure before you leave here, you like this video, okay? Because it helps with the optics. All right. We appreciate the fact that you guys have been commenting, sharing, and yeah, man, it's been a good conversation. You want to know more about Bryan? Don't holler at me. You go to his DMs, okay? Don't call me. I don't know. This is my job, and here it stays here. So if you want to know more about him, you go to his DMs, okay? He's doing Bible study, not me. But I appreciate you guys for joining us. We're gonna be here tomorrow. We're going to be talking about with Tamika from Put a Ring on It. So guys, make sure you stay tuned in 12 o'clock again. Guys, yes, I appreciate you lot. Okay, enter the DMs. That's what he said. Enter the DMs. I didn't say enter the DMs. Okay, all right, appreciate you guys. Bryan, thank you once more, and we'll talk, bro. Appreciate you, Captain. Blessings. Safe, y'all. I appreciate y'all.